5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Far from the horizons of the unknown comes the transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are the stories of the future, the adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. Retrostatic Radio presents X-1.
There is no margin of safety along the rim of a frontier. There can't be any until a way is made for those who come later. Until then, the penalty for mistakes is a grim one. The laws of physical nature operate with irrevocable certainty, with no room for mercy, kindness, or sentimentality. In space, life becomes a cold equation, and the equal sign is often followed by death. I know, I'm the pilot of an emergency dispatch shuttle.
Come in.
You called for me, Commander?
Yes, please, have a seat, Barton. We just got an ed from the Territorial Space Station around Woden.
Woden? That's in the Crab Nebula, isn't it?
That's right. There are 2 exploration parties there on Hulk's continent. 8 men each.
Okay.
One of these teams is stricken with Vinge fever and no serum is on the station.
And Hero was hoping it would be a nice, quiet passenger run.
Computers are working out your payload and course right now. In 10 minutes, we'll be dropping into normal space and be launching your ship.
I'll get her prepped then.
One thing.
Yes, sir?
Woden is at the absolute maximum pay limit for an EDS. Figuring the weight of the serum, we'll be able to give you just enough fuel to land on the continent. If you make it on your first pass. Otherwise, you'll burn out in orbit.
Naturally. Standard procedure, and don't bring any sacks.
Report to launch bay, and good luck.
Thank you, sir. Oh, by the way, when can I expect to be picked up?
We'll make a stop on the run back to Earth sometime next year. You'll be notified by radio. I'm sorry we can't make it back sooner.
Hey, that's what happens when you sign on for EDS work. You either die in a lunchbox or you get paid vacation. I'll see you next year, Commander.
Barton,
Coming in clear, launch.
30 seconds to blast off. All set?
All set and strapped in.
Roger that. Turning you over to traffic.
Traffic control Delta Niner to EDS 4G3.
Coming in clear, traffic.
20 seconds of departure. Locking clamps opening.
Space drive is on and warming up.
15 seconds. Space drive enabled.
No smoking sign is on.
10 seconds to go. Slingshot activated. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch.
I don't remember how long after launch it was that I first noticed something wrong. I awoke from a nap. It helps conserve energy with the oxygen generators and pass the time. It had been an hour or two and all the panels showed all normal, except for the heat gauge. The gauge was zeroed out when I left the Stardust, and now I noticed it had crept up near the 10 mark. Not a lot, but that meant something inside the ship was radiating heat. After a quick diagnostic scan, I found it. That something was inside the supply closet, and it was alive. I unbuckled myself and took the emergency pistol from a hidden compartment down at the base of my seat. All right, come out of there. Whoever you are, if you don't come out in 5 seconds, I'm going to shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello there. I'm Marilyn Lee Cross.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm just a stowaway.
No, 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 no!
What's the matter? Do I have to pay a fine or something?
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see my husband.
Who's your husband?
He's with the government survey crew on Woden. I haven't seen him since he left Earth 4 years ago.
Okay, but what made you hide in my EDS?
I have a job waiting for me on Mimir, but I heard you were going to Woden and there was plenty of room, so I hid. Oh, I knew I'd be breaking some rule, but what's one little rule, am I right?
Get back into the closet now! What's one little rule? H amount of fuel will power an EDS with a massive M safely to its destination. H amount of fuel will not power an EDS with a massive M plus X safely to its destination. How could she be expected to know that? She's 5'2", curly brown hair, and the faint smell of perfume. She smelled of apple blossoms, and her name was X in an equation that would have to be balanced.
UCS Stardust, Operator Sam 10, come in. EDS, come in.
This is Barton, Emergency Dispatch Pilot 4G3.
Go ahead.
Give me Commander Celeste.
What's the matter, EDS?
I have to consult with Commander Celeste.
The commander is busy.
Listen, you little pipsqueak. Get me Commander Celeste, now!
1 moment, 4G3.
This is Celeste. What is it?
At 0800 hours, I have discovered a stowaway on board EDS 4G3.
A stowaway.
Yes, sir.
Have you notified ship's records yet?
Not yet, sir.
You know the regulation as well as I do.
Of course I know them, sir. That's why I'm calling you.
Barton, what's going on?
This is a woman. A young girl. She wanted to see her husband on Woden. She didn't know what she was doing.
I see.
I wondered, sir, if the cruiser could maybe change course or something to that effect.
I'm afraid not. We're hundreds of light years apart now. We have a limited fuel supply ourselves, with 900 passengers.
Is there any chance?
No.
Okay.
Barton, I'm sorry.
Aren't we all? You can come out now.
You cut our accelerant, didn't you?
Yes.
Why?
Saves fuel. For a little bit anyways. How did you manage to stow away?
Well, I was taking a language lesson in Mimirian customs from a girl in the inspection corps. The order came in for her to inspect your ship, and I just kind of went along on impulse, really. I'll be a model prisoner, I promise.
If only you were a thief or a spy, it would make it easier.
Make what easier?
Forget it. Why couldn't she have been somebody with ulterior motives? A fugitive hoping to lose herself in a raw new world, a corporate spy trying to sneak to a government satellite. Why did she have to be a woman? A girl. A beautiful, kind, trusting, naive girl.
UCS Stardust?
Barton, EDS, 4G3.
Go ahead, 4G3. Identify stowaway.
Give me your identification disc, Miss Cross.
Here you are. Why?
It's for ship's records. Identification number T8374.
1 moment, 4G3. This is for the Grey Carter's course.
Yes,
I'll need the time of...
I'll tell you later.
This is highly irregular.
Then we'll do it in a highly irregular manner. The subject is a young woman. She is listening to everything that's said. Are you capable of understanding that?
Oh, go ahead, 4G3.
Number T8374-Y54. Name, Marilyn Lee Cross. Female, married. Born July 4th, 2160. Good Lord, you're only a child. Height, 5 foot 2 inches. Weight, 110 Earth gravity. Hair, brown. Eyes, blue. Complexion, Caucasian, light. Original destination, Port City, Mimir. Hey, listen, I'll call you back later. Look, miss.
Marilyn.
Look, miss. I guess you don't know what you got yourself into here. It's like this. This ship is currently carrying fever serum to the survey group on Woden.
Yes.
Their supply was wrecked in a weather anomaly. The fever is always fatal unless this serum is given in the first 48 hours. Now, these little ships have exactly enough fuel to reach their destination. If you stay aboard her, your added weight will cause it to use up all the fuel before it can land.
Oh, what happens then?
We crash, you die, I die. The 6 fever victims on Woden die.
Can they send out another ship to meet us?
There are no other ships.
Well, Oh, no. No, 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 no. You can't. You couldn't do that.
That's how it has to be.
But that's crazy. I haven't done anything. I haven't hurt anybody.
I'm sorry. I should have told you before, but I wanted to make sure there was no other way.
You're really going to make me leave the ship.
That's how it is.
But I'll die. I'll explode. I'll be like those horrible pictures
Try to understand.
I do understand. You're going to kill me, and I didn't do anything.
That has nothing to do with it.
It has everything to do with it. Nobody dies just like that for no reason. Listen, maybe there are other cruisers you don't know about. Maybe the radio, maybe it...
Listen to me. It's different here. Different from anything you've ever known. On Woden, there are 16 men on that entire world. They're fighting an alien environment. The environment fights back. You can only make a mistake once.
I made that mistake.
Yes.
There's no hope of...
Absolutely none. You'll have to be put out of the ship. It was better this way, with the going of any hope. So goes the fear. Then would come resignation. She needed time, and that was so little.
EDS, Starship to EDS, need pertinent data. When do you expect to finish your report?
I need a computer crack.
I'll give you 2 statistics. Statistics.
This is EDS 4G3. I'm intersecting course vector 7.3 at 0831. Declaration 1750. Weight approximately 1 ton. I would like to say at point 10 as long as the computers would allow. Will you run the question?
Check. Stay on and I'll get right back to you.
We wouldn't have long to wait. The new factors would be fed into the iridescent screen of the computer bank, and the electrical impulses would go through complex circuitry. Here and there, a relay would click, a tiny spark would fire, but it was a calculation, formless, mindless, invisible, that would determine with utter precision how long the pale young girl would live. 5 little segments of metal in the second bank would trip against an ink ribbon, and the machine would print out the answer, a hard copy for the incident report.
You will resume deceleration in 1930.
Thank you. Barton out. 1 hour. She has 1 hour to live.
1 hour?
That's it.
All I did was hide in the closet. Now you tell me I have to die for it. I don't believe it.
You might as well get used to it.
If this happened back on Earth, 1,000 ships would fill the sky. The whole world would know about it. They'd do everything to save me.
This isn't Earth.
It was such a big dream. Jerry and I separated almost 5 years ago. We were too young, and I was going to see him to try and make everything all right again. Are you married?
I was once. She ran off with some guy in the weather services.
Do you still think about her?
I don't let myself.
Where is she?
Still on Earth. Look, if you don't mind, I'd just as soon talk about anything else.
Okay. What do you even do with an hour left to live? What do you talk about?
What's Jerry like?
Jerry? He's a funny guy. When we found out, about the other fella, he didn't get mad. He cried. That was all he felt. Sadness.
So you walked all over him?
No, I thought I wanted him to be mad, to get jealous.
And now?
I've been thinking about him for 5 years. When I heard this ship was bound for Woden, and I knew he was there, I stowed away. I wasn't thinking. I didn't know about the fuel. I didn't know this would happen to me.
She had violated a man-made law that said keep out. The penalty was not of man's making or desire. It was not a penalty man could revoke. H amount of fuel will power an EDS with a massive M safely. The time was 1830, 40 minutes. It was beginning to get me. A space frontier is a rough place, and I'd seen 100 men die since I left Earth. But this was different. I watched her as she wrote a message to her folks. I watched her as she fought her way through the black horror of fear towards the dull gray of acceptance. And then, there it was on the view screen. The planet Woden. A red ball enshrouded in blue haze of its atmosphere, swimming in space against the background of a star-sprinkled blackness. The chronometer on the instrument panel said 1845. Listen, we're in radio range of Woden now. Would you like me to try and contact your husband?
Jerry?
It'd mean he would know you're going to die. There'd be nothing anyone could do.
Yes. I would like to talk to him. Do you think we can?
Well, the planet is turning. If his group is on the side facing us, we might be able to reach him.
Oh, try, please.
All right. Hello, Woden. EDS to Government Survey Group. Can you hear me? Come in, Woden. They might not be monitoring.
Hello?
Hello. Please, identify, please.
This is Government Survey Group 1 on planet Woden.
This is John Barton, EDS pilot.
Do you have the serum?
Yes. How bad is it?
1 man died last night. Sick. Have the fever. How long will it take you?
I start deceleration at 1910. I should be able to land at 1930.
Oh, thank God.
Look. Do you have a Gerald Cross in charge of your group?
Commander Cross? Yes, we do.
Could I speak with him?
He isn't here. He's out with the remaining survey team.
When do you expect him back?
I can't say.
How do you read me? How much time do we have left for communication?
Less than 15 minutes, I say.
All right. If Commander Cross comes back before we lose radio contact, will you have him chirp me? It's important.
Okay, ADS.
I'll keep the set open.
Check.
The minutes passed like small bits of eternity. On the view screen, I could see Hulk's continent spiraled like a gigantic hourglass in the eastern sea. There was a thin line of shadow engulfing it, where it began to disappear as the planet turned on its axis. I looked at the pale girl next to me, and I thought of another woman, seemingly long ago, sat next to me crying because I wouldn't try to understand. What had she written in those letters for back home? What would they think of the faceless unknown pilot who'd sent this girl to her death? What would I think of myself alone in the nights to come, reliving this voyage?
Cold, isn't it?
I'll turn up the thermostat.
Nothing from Jerry yet?
We have about 2 minutes of radio contact left.
Maybe it's for the better. Suppose it were you and your wife tried to call you. How would you feel?
I don't know.
Do you ever hear from her?
I got a letter from her about a year ago. I tore it up.
That was foolish.
Yeah, I suppose it was.
Life is so terribly short to be wandering around alone.
Well,
Hello, EDS. This is Commander Cross.
Jerry?
Say again. This is Woden. Commander Cross. Gerald Cross. EDS?
Jerry, it's me.
Who's this?
It's Marilyn.
Marilyn? But...
I needed to see you again. I stowed away on the EDS.
You what? But, Marilyn...
It doesn't matter, Jerry. All that matters is that I can tell you all the things I've kept inside for so long. Jerry, I want you to know that. I've never forgotten.
It's been so many years. I can't believe it.
I thought I'd see you again, but now I can't. Jerry, you don't hate me, do you?
Hate you? Oh, Marilyn, I've never stopped loving you. For an instant.
Oh, Jerry, I...
Oh, don't cry, darling. Just know how I feel.
I do. There are so many things to say. Jerry, if you still hear me, maybe I'll come see you again. Maybe I'll come to you in your dreams, or be the touch of a breeze, or one of those golden-winged little birds singing my silly little head off. Maybe I'll be nothing you can see or hear, but you'll know I'm there. Think of me like that, Jerry. Goodbye.
I love you, Marilyn. Goodbye, my darling.
She sat motionless in the hush that followed, and then she looked at me. Now. I pulled down the black lever and the inner door of the airlock slid open. She walked with her head up and the brown curls brushing her shoulders. I let her close the door alone. She stepped into the lock and turned to face me. I could see the tears in her eyes and the pulse in her throat. She opened her mouth, but there was nothing. She nodded her head, though, letting the curls bounce once. I couldn't look into the small window at her as I pulled the red lever. The ship wavered slightly as the air gushed out. I thought I felt a small bump, as if something had hit the outer door. And then there was nothing. I walked back to my seat at the front of the shuttle and sat. I was alone in the ship with the faintest scent of apple blossoms, but the cold equation had been balanced.
The harsh reality of the unknown is uncovered as we land back in the present. That was Cold Equation, starring Zach Cassidy as Barton and Megan Klodnicki as Marilyn. Next week, we return to the comforts of Duffy's Tavern with big game hunter Archie. If you enjoy the broadcast of Retrostatic Radio, please become a patron at patreon.com, which has tiers including our very special behind-the-scenes podcast, upcoming table reads, live hangouts on Discord, and even picking an episode for next season and voting for our hiatus specials. Sharing is caring, so please follow, share, and subscribe. We're on every major social media outlet. This concludes our broadcast day.